Hey guys, welcome back to another video. My name is Ryder Sigety. I'm a 4-time national GNCC champion, and this is the Buck GNCC 2024 in Union, South Carolina. And I'm also an AmPro factory support off-road racer, and I'm here with my dad, Mike Sigety. Dad, say hello.
Hello.
And this is actually new class, new bike, new race. We're in the big kid race now. We're in the 3-hour. And I'm on a YZ125, pretty much stock actually, and we still got a pretty good hole shot. Actually, not pretty much stock, completely stock bike, besides a pipe, and we got almost hole shot. Right now we're behind Davis Simpson, who you'll see me and him, he'll kind of be the person I battle with most of the race.
Yeah, that's pretty accurate. The only thing is we do have the factory connection suspension too, but you're right, the motor is 100% stock.
Yeah, correct. And yeah, so this is actually my first main event ever, my first 3-hour ever, and I actually have never done a race. I've done one other race in my whole life that was longer than 90 minutes, so really I had no clue coming into this how to pace myself. So I was hoping that Davis in front of me would know how to pace himself, but it turns out he didn't really know either, but we ended up making it work. So I was just trying to keep up with him, not go too fast, not go too slow. I could have also went into the morning race, which is where the women's pro race, and a lot of kids go from the youth race to the pro woman, to the 10 a.m. race they call it, and then they go to the 3-hour. But we decided it'd be best just to go straight to the 3-hour for me.
And how many races do you have on your new YZ125?
One, I think just one.
And how's the bike working out for you?
It feels like every time I ride it, I get more used to it and we figure out more about it. So it's working out really well for us, I think. I think it's getting better and better, and we still have a ways to go.
So in case you don't follow GNCC, this is round 1 of the 2024 season, which is usually a pretty popular opening round. A lot of people come out to that even if they're not racing the entire GNCC series. And they had just about 2,000 entries for the weekend, and there was about 397, I think, entries in this race. I don't know exactly how many rows back you start. I think it's about 13 rows back or 12 rows back from the front line. So by the time the first line takes off and then you take off, 13 minutes of the race has already started, which is part of the reason why almost everybody gets lapped from your line and around your line. And by the way, Ryder, what class did you enter?
I entered B1 or 150B, which is equivalent to, usually in our home series it'd be B200, which is what I usually run.
And the strange thing was a lot of people from our local series came down to ride this, and they all decided also to enter the main event, skipping the morning event, as they call it, which was pretty exciting. We're going to go over a little bit of the results of not only this race, but of the pros in this race, the women pros, and the youth race as well, which Ryder skipped to do. How did you feel about that, skipping the youth race?
I liked not getting up at 8 o'clock in the morning, which is when the youth race usually is. But starting this year, they're doing the youth race always at 4 o'clock on 4 o'clock at Saturday. So I kind of missed skipping. I kind of missed racing the youth, especially knowing that I wouldn't have had to wake up early and that we would have gone to race on Saturday. So everything felt like it would have worked better about youth this year, but I'm happy I moved up to the 125 too.
Yeah, bit of a bummer. That was a pretty impressive race, though, the youth race the day before. Caleb Wood took the overall win, and Braden Baisley got the second place, which came down to a really good finish. Maybe Ryder will show that to you here. Right down to the finish where there was almost a collision. One of the lappers got taken out, and so I wouldn't say that was a good finish, but it was an interesting finish. And third was Brody Amos. And the interesting thing about that is each one of those people was your main competitor from the last 3 out of 4 years that you did GNCC. Caleb Wood was your main competitor in 65. Braden Baisley was your main competitor in 85 Big Wheel, and so was Brody Amos the next year in Big Wheel. And they're here now ran first, second, and third.
Yeah, that is a little bit of a weird coincidence.
That really must have made you feel like you had half a chance going out there to win the youth overall, considering those were all your 3 main competitors. And I'm going to brag a little bit, but they all did finish second place to you every year.
It definitely gave me some confidence, but I think everyone gets faster and some people get slower, but it's hard to tell when I raced them 3 years ago. But I do wish I could know how fast I was compared to them now.
Yeah, that's true. Every year, people do come out of the woodwork. They put in the hard work over the winter season, whether it's their fitness or their riding or their lessons, whatever they did. So yeah, that is kind of like a hard thing to say. I would have won or should have, but it would have been interesting. So I felt the conditions were almost perfect today for your race. What would you say about the conditions?
Yeah, I don't think that they could have been really any better. I mean, we had perfect dirt. The dirt wasn't it wasn't too wet, it wasn't dry. There was dust in a little bit of spots, but other than that, it was really perfect. And as far as the weather, it wasn't raining, it wasn't hot, it wasn't cold. I was like perfect, just wearing my chest protector and a jersey. The temperature was perfect.
Yeah, it really stinks to drive 25 to 30 hours, which is really what it is round trip, and the conditions are frozen or over 100 degrees or super dusty or super muddy. And this South Carolina people think is sand, but this is clay, and it was just perfect. I mean, there's probably been 100 laps on this by everybody running all day Saturday and all day Sunday, and it was a little dusty, but I'd say just about perfect. 50-degree weather. That's such a nice day. Really made for a great weekend.
Yeah, speaking of how much traveling to a race all the way across the country just for it to be bad weather, how much work, you have a rule, right, for how much work it goes into traveling a series like this?
When racing a national series, there is an expression that my good friend John Robbins told me, and you remember that expression?
Yeah, it's the 30-30 rule.
And what does that mean, the 30-30 rule?
It means that for each national championship or national series you want to chase, it's gonna cost you $30,000 and you're gonna travel 30,000 miles.
That's pretty accurate. I would agree. How many years have you done the national series?
This would be my 5th, but I've done it 4 years.
Right. And I did the national enduros for 20 years. So what's 23 times $30,000 a year?
That's a lot.
That's a lot, exactly.
Almost $70,000. No, not even close. I meant $700,000. That was a mistake.
Yeah, just a little off.
Just a little bit.
So at the end of this, I'll put a link if you want to see all the youth race hole shots. There's like 300 youth racers too. So if you know anyone that raced youth, it's not going to be in the video, but there'll be a link to get to it. Also, if you look down in the description of this video, we've added a lot of discount codes to use at places, new sponsors like Guts Racing is a new one that we just added. So check out the description in the below the video, and you can see that. And by the way, when you're down there looking, if you could please hit that like button, subscribe button, that would be really awesome. And as we always say, please comment. Like, just to give you an idea of the amount of work that goes into these videos, nobody makes a GoPro battery that lasts 3 hours, and we wanted to get the whole race. So obviously we're not going to show you the whole race, but we want to show you the highlights. And we couldn't find a spare external battery, so we borrowed one from a neighbor. Guess what? That one didn't work. Then I found an old one of mine. That one didn't work. Then I ordered one on Amazon. Guess what? Snow day here in North Jersey. Got delayed. That one didn't show up. Went to Walmart, picked up 2 batteries there to see if it would work. So that's just the battery part of it. So there's a lot of work that goes into making these videos. So any comments, any likes, any subscribes would really help. Okay, sorry about that.
I don't know if you guys have noticed, but Davis and I have not stopped passing people this first lap. The first lap is maybe 36 minutes, I think it was. And I don't think there was a section of it where we weren't trying to get around people. The whole time it was trying to pass people. And I don't know, I would think that people that started in rows ahead of us wouldn't really have that problem because they're riding with faster people. You know what I mean? They might even be getting passed. But Davis and I the whole time are just working our way around people. It ends up getting spaced out later in the race, but definitely not here at the beginning.
Yeah, definitely not the first two races. And everyone in your class is at the same disadvantage here. But when it comes to looking at the overall, it definitely makes a big difference to start up a little further. And ironically, you finished, I'm going to give it away here, you finished second. And if you would have raced 150A, where would you have finished?
If I would have raced 150A and my time was the same, I also would have finished second. And if I raced 150A, I probably wouldn't have had to pass as many people, which means I could have even done better. Or who knows, I could have done worse too, obviously. We can't say for sure I would have gotten second, but my time says I would have gotten second in 150A also.
Yeah, and by the way, that's our good friend, Davis Simpson in front of us here. Not this guy, but in front of him. And we know him and the family well. They're great people, great kid. They have an amazing training facility. They have a great race program. So it does stink to not get first, but you can see why. We kind of gambled this year, and I'm not making excuses. He won because he was the best rider. But we gambled a little bit by not going down south to train all that much. Matter of fact, we did go down for a little bit, and it turned out the weather was better in New Jersey than it was down in the Carolinas, but we've had some really crappy weather up here, so it's going to take a little time to get up to speed, a little time to get used to the bike, and hopefully next time you go back, your results will be better.
Yeah, definitely.
So Ryder had a couple really cool experiences this weekend. One of them was someone came up and said, "Oh, I saw your picture on the Kenda trailer." And I'm like, "Oh, really? Like, what's that?" And we went and checked it out, and wow, how cool is this? Check this out. It's on both sides of this triaxle trailer, and this is just impressive to see that, and surprising.
Right here, I come into the corner, and the rider in front of me gets stuck a little bit in a rut, no less. Not even anything special, but not his fault. I'm just saying it's crazy how deep the rut is. Davis gets by, and right in front of me is Mason Sakanikis. He also gets by me. He's in my class, and I can tell at this point in the race he's really pacing himself. I mean, to me, it looks like he's not even trying. He's just, unless that's just his riding style, he's just riding like easily. But I feel like at this point, so early in the race, everybody had to pace himself. But if you see soon, we come around this corner, and I look for a line to the left, and I go down the hill as fast as I can. There's a rider stuck to the left under his bike, but I end up getting around Mason, and we don't really see him for the rest of the race, even though he did keep up. Maybe he was 20 seconds behind me for that lap, but then I think they kind of gapped, spaced away.
So that person or kid underneath that 250, a lot of people say 125s is a great bike, transition bike, teaches you corner speed. It's good in a net bad situation, and a lot of people say skip the 125 and go right to the 250F because the motor is just so much better for racing, which it is. And one of Ryder's competitions went to a 250F, and man, he had a really good finish. So sometimes I wonder if I made a mistake by not going straight to the 250F. But then when I see a kid under the bike like that, or they drop the bike, like that's the end of their lap. Like they can lose everything. I remember watching you at the Tour race last year, which we'll talk about the Tour series in a little bit. Oh, some gnarly roots there. Almost made the pass. And you were battling with one of your friends, and it was so close. And he just tipped over in a mulch pile. And by the time he picked the bike up and got his energy back, you were gone. So, yep, it is faster. Yeah, you'll have your best lap times on a 250F, but you might also have your worst lap times. And we've always played the safe game, right? We've always thought of the end game, the championship, not the best result for the day. So I kind of feel like a 125, that bike's not gonna put you in a bad situation. Like even when you just go to push a 250F into the back of the van versus the 125, can you feel the difference, Ryder?
Yeah, it feels like way heavier, even though it's not even that much heavier.
You can feel it for sure. But I would be curious to see your lap times on a 250F versus a 125. The only problem is you like your suspension way stiffer than this old man does, so it's not going to be my bike that you're going to have to be able to do those time trials on.
Yeah, it's weird. I feel like my whole life I used to love the way your 250 was set up, and then I don't know if it's because I'm getting faster or what, but I ride your 250 now, and I just do not like the way it's set up for me at all. I mean, everyone has their preference, right? But for me, I like a stiffer, easier to like more flickable bike, if you know what I mean. Easier to just turn left and right, and has more power. Listen to me talk while I ride. So I don't know why I talk to myself a lot when we're riding, but I was just saying, let's get a move on it, and then I guess I shouldn't have wished for that because in about 2 laps Davis gets a move on it, and I don't seem to follow, but it's all right. It was still really fun, and right now I'm just having a blast, really just riding with Davis. We're not going race pace right now. We're both just riding and having fun.
So I don't know if you've ever been to a GNCC, but some of the things that are really cool about a GNCC is that you can get a lot of work done to your bike at the GNCC. Like there's a couple different tire booths, and they are busy all day long, changing people's tires, installing bibs, removing old tires, installing tubes. So you can go there and they'll take care of that. Factory Connection is there, and they can service your suspension. They can revalve your suspension. They can change your spring rates. They also do free sag check and clicker adjustment for you, so you can get that done. There's graphic companies there. You can get, like, especially if you order ahead of time, your custom graphics, like HBD, they'll bring the graphics there for you. They'll even install them for you. There's goggle vendors. There's all types of vendors there. Like, basically, you get a lot done to your bike at the GNCC. I mean, I obviously recommend always going as prepared as possible, but if you find yourself, getting ready and you're missing something, a lot of things you can take care of right there. So it's really cool. It's like a whole city of vendors and like a shopping area of vendors and options. So it's pretty cool. So we had the pleasure of having the head of Yamaha amateur support, Donnie Luce, have dinner with us at Saturday night in the motorhome, and I was just asking him questions about like his job and what he does, and he handles basically all the Yamaha off-road, motorcycle support. Could be motocross or ATV, Loretta's, and he even said side by side. I said, "Oh, really? I didn't even know that was a thing." It's like to Yamaha, and he said that there's a series out west that he supports a father and son team. And what are you laughing at? What's so funny?
No, it's nothing.
All right. If I wasn't with you all day, I'd have to question if you were on drugs, the way you just start laughing like that, but I think you're not. By the way, is that TJ Brown? I think it is, on that Honda.
It probably is, but I'm not sure.
He's pretty fast. I think he's leading the Carolina XC Series as a B rider, so that's pretty impressive. I think that's him, but I kind of thought he started in front of you. I don't know. Anyway, so he was saying this side-by-side series out west gets 50,000 people per race. That's crazy. Like, it's like a professional sporting event, like in a stadium. I was very impressed with that. Also coming up in a little bit, Ryder had another first experience, like I would consider it a lifetime memory for me. So I would think the same for him too. He got to go down the pit row, as you'll see, and actually pit under the Yamaha tent, which was really cool to be there and part of that, because like the youth racers and the 10 a.m. racers, they don't go down pit row like that. So that was a really neat experience. Lifetime memory for sure.
So in a little bit, I don't know if you guys have heard of it, but it's called Big Buck Hill we're going to get to, and it's just a really, really hard hill that they run every year for the GNCC, and every year some people go up it, some people go around it, and to me it seemed like the go around added maybe 5 seconds, and then if you screwed up on the hill, it would either end your race or you'd lose like 20 seconds, and the hill is really difficult. I usually love technical riding, like it's my favorite thing to do. It's the riding by my house, but I guess I didn't want to risk it taking the hill, especially if I didn't have to. Maybe I should have, because I know a bunch of people that did it every lap and didn't have a problem with it, but I figured it'd be better to just go around it every lap. but it was still really cool to like ride through and see all those people there watching and stuff. Is a cool experience. We're gonna get there in like a minute or so, but right now this is probably the tightest section of GNCC. At each race, only for the adults, they have the bike only section, which is this section right here. And I've never gotten to ride this section because I've always been in the kids race, and they don't let them go through here. And it's just cool to actually do some single track at some of the GNCCs, which you don't get to see a lot of. I'm not gonna lie.
So do you know if your buddy Ryan Amancio did Big Buck Hill?
Yeah, he did.
Oh, okay. Now, didn't you guys have a bet? And what was that bet?
I'm pretty sure you and him made a bet. You and him are pretty good friends. It's a little weird.
No. I think you had a bet because you were saying, oh, I'm going to get lapped by everybody. Ryan Amansio's going to lap me. Oh, here's Big Buck Hill.
Yeah, so before he continues, look at all the spectators. And we're like a mile and a half into the woods. Everybody walks down here just to watch this event, just to watch this hill right here. I don't know if you guys can see it off to the right. I go around, and it's not like, if you look, I'll tell you when it meets back up with the course, it doesn't feel that much slower. Maybe 5 seconds, maybe 10 seconds. See, and now we're back on the regular course. I don't know how much longer it really could be.
It really can't be 5 or 10 seconds, more than 10 seconds longer. I don't even think it's that much because it doesn't even take 10 seconds to get to the top. And whether someone goes straight or goes around, it's got to take at least 5 seconds up the middle and 10 seconds around the side. And you know what? Like I said earlier in this video, I'm about playing it safe, right? You can't win the race on that hill. You're not battling for something with somebody that you can't get around right now. So there's no sense in doing it. And one of our very good friends, I think he's a Loretta champion, even he didn't make it up that hill. So a lot of people come down. When you come down, you've got to be hope. Your bike is still in one piece. Like you can still ride it normally. Like the levers could be broken, the handlebars could be bent. We love stuff like that at home. We ride up crazy stuff like that, but not at a race that you're going to drive 25, 30 hours to gain 5 seconds.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So, Ryder, how were your hands after this 3-hour race? Do you have a picture of it?
Yeah, I'll put in the picture. Because my hands were really bad, actually. They were, how do I explain it? They got really calloused up, especially on my thumbs, which I guess means I wasn't riding with the right form. I really shouldn't get any blisters there. But my whole hands had blisters, kind of similar to that. So, they start to hurt, too. Not only are they, like, annoying, do they, like, look a little weird, but they just hurt when you're riding. And you have those blisters that are constantly rubbing on the grips the whole time.
So normally after a race, you usually kind of take a nap, fall asleep while you're editing. And sometimes I let you sleep. Most of the times I let you sleep. Sometimes I wake you up. What were you like after this race?
I actually had more energy than I thought I would have. It feels like almost every single race I take a nap after the race. I didn't take a nap after this race for some reason. Like, I feel like I paced myself too much. I think I should have pushed a little bit more at the beginning, then maybe calmed out in the middle and pushed at the end. But because I really felt like at the end of the race, if it wasn't for my hands, I could have gone another lap or two.
Yeah, and everyone said you were going to cramp during this race. As a matter of fact, some of your friends tell you every race, no matter what they do, they cramp. And tell everyone how bad your cramps were.
I didn't cramp at all, thankfully. I mean, we followed like a Hammer Nutrition protocol.
Which, by the way, there is a Hammer Nutrition link down below to save 10%. And if it's your first order with them, you just have to request your free welcome kit, which is like $35 in free product. So it's pretty cool.
Also, one of the times I went to stop for a water bottle to get some hydration in. And you guys will see in a minute, I went to grab the water bottle and it completely fell out of my hand. But it landed somehow in my lap, and I was able to grab it from my lap and put it back and get it back and put it in my mouth. But most of the time, if I miss the water bottle, it's done. I have to wait until the next time I see my dad to get the water bottle. I just got really lucky.
Yeah, but if I wanted to, I could have caught up with you somewhere else and giving you that water bottle because we kind of biked the course the day before on your new Cannondale e-bike, and I kind of had a plan, but it was kind of funny how it was like a hot potato bouncing around on your bike while you were riding, and you were trying to ride and like catch this water bottle before it hit the ground.
And not get past, because there was someone behind me that was trying to pass me too when I was trying to get it.
So in addition to Ryder being in the main event, I was going to give you just some of the race results here and some of the things that were kind of interesting that were not in Ryder's class. For instance, Johnny G won, and that was kind of like him running away with the whole race, so nothing so exciting about that. But what was pretty interesting is that third place was Grant Baylor, who was actually last coming into scoring on the first lap, 14th out of 15 riders. And he went from last all the way to third at the GNCC. And Grant's super fast, don't get me wrong, but he's hasn't like been a top 3 guy that often at GNCC, though he's won national enduro championships and he's killing it there. And he went from last to third. That's how long these races are. That was really impressed. And Stu Baylor got second, and he did pretty well too. He was like second to last and worked his way up to second, which was also really good. Ricky Russell, our Yamaha hero, was in second for most of the race. I'm not really sure what happened to him, but he finished in 6th. And I know something happened to Craig DeLong. I think he broke his fender off, a number plate in a crash. He's last year's defending champion. He's also our local boy, so we definitely like to see him do well. And he got 11th, and Ryder Lafferty got 12th. So just some interesting race footage, race report. And then in the women's class, that was also interesting too, because Brandy Richards is the possibly the fastest women racer in the world. She did the ISDE, and I think she's the first person in history to win every single test for 6 days. And she's predominantly a West Coast racer, but she came out to this race, and she was kind of the odds-on favorite to win. Yamaha has a new racer. She's also supposed to be really fast, Jordan Jarvis. Rachel Archer is the defending champion was on a Yamaha for 2 years, and this year she switched to Kawasaki. So those were kind of like your front runners there. It was very interesting to see what would happen there. And Brandy was leading, but something happened to her. I think she crashed out and ended up getting third. Jordan Jarvis, the new Yamaha racer from AmPro. Here's Big Buck Hill again. Jordan Jarvis, she had some sort of issue too and finished second to last. And Corey Steed finished second, with Brandy, like I said, finishing third. So that was Rachel Archer first, Corey Steed second, and Brandy Richards third. So that would have been a nice race to be able to follow along and watch that battle, because those girls are really fast.
Right here is one of our good friends, Frank Messina. Everyone knows him as the nicest guy in the races. They call him Smiling Frank. But I came into the next turn after I passed him, and I could still hear him cheering me on. He was yelling and yelling, and I gave him a little thumbs up too. And there's Davis just roosting me, but it's fine. I think here, yeah, see, I passed someone, and then I come to this turn, so the person I passed is right behind me. I go to grab the water bottle. Never mind, this is not the time where I dropped the water bottle. My mistake, guys. But I'm pretty sure coming up soon, I'm gonna go into the pits. Yeah, it's gonna be in a minute. I'm gonna go in the pits. Pretty quick pit stop. Definitely needed. I needed gas. I know some of our friends, I think Landon Wentz, a kid in our class, pitted twice in the 2 hour. But I came into the pits way too slow. I thought I was gonna come in too fast, and I was like, why am I going so slow? But I'm surprised nobody gets hurt. I think my dad was saying this. Nobody gets hurt in the pro pits because there's so many people coming in and out of the pits that you'd think they'd have a collision. And right now I'm just talking with my friend Davi. Really not much to do. I'm just drinking out of a little water bottle. And fast pit, honestly. I feel like we have our fastest pits when we're not rushed, right? Whenever we're rushed, something goes wrong. The gas cap falls off, something falls on the ground, I don't get the water. But whenever we're calm and like collected, it always goes perfectly, every time. It's kind of weird.
So if you go to any GNCC, you'll see that 95% of all the bikes there are e-bikes. And e-bicycles. Yeah, right. Let's clarify that. And you just have. Here comes the pros. Is that what we're gonna see now?
Yeah. From now, pretty much till most of the video, it's just gonna be me getting passed by pros. And then you get anywhere from 2 to 10 seconds of following them before they drop it.
Yeah. Well, when you pull way off the course and slow down to a stop, it's not gonna be easy to stick with them. But that was nice of you to do that. So yeah, everybody has e-bikes. It's like another, like especially if you want to do it with your kid, it's another $10,000 expense. $5,000 per bike, and it kind of sucks. But can't hate the player. You got to hate the game. Like that's the way that it is. Everybody has e-bikes who's taking it seriously, and I find like a lot of people at the races don't know much about bicycles at all. They're motorcycle riders, and there's a big difference in the quality between e-bikes. And we're probably on our like 7th e-bike now, and we have one e-bike that has needed a battery, a motor, a charging port, and like we have other e-bikes that have 2,000 miles on them. Oh, is this the bottle drop, Ryder?
Yeah, I dropped it and I was like playing around with it until I finally got it, and I almost got passed too.
Yeah, and we have another e-bike that it's so cool watching these pros go.
Yeah, right here, I forget who this was, but I felt like I could have passed it. Well, probably not. Even if I tried, I probably couldn't. It was weird. I felt like everybody here was watching us at the finish, and it looks like I'm in the battle with these guys, even though I'm not. But there's like tons of people. I see my friend Davi. Everybody's watching at the finish, and I'm battling with these guys. At least it looks like it for a little bit.
I think I just saw him look back. Did he look back at you?
Yeah, he did look back. I wonder if he thought that maybe I was an XC3 rider or something. I don't know. It was funny.
Yeah. Yeah, so it's cool watching these riders. Oh, by the way, when it comes to the pro race report, Ben Kelly is already out. He is the 2022 champion. Had a rough 2023 with injuries. I believe that he was a 2022 champion. No, 2021 maybe. Anyway, yeah, he's already out with an injury before the race even started. Practice injury, which really stinks because he's a super nice guy. So back to the e-bikes. So yeah, everyone's at the races buying bikes. Nobody knows anything about them, and there is a huge difference in the quality of bicycles. And we've had bike sponsors before, but you really haven't heard us ever talk about them because you really don't know what you're getting till you get it. It's not like we're reading bicycle magazines and talking to lots of people. But we just got a Cannondale, and what do you think of it, Ryder?
I think it's awesome. Most of the other e-bikes I've ridden, it feels like you're riding an e-bike. But when I ride the Cannondale, and I'm not just saying this, actually when I ride the Cannondale, it just feels like I'm riding a mountain bike. It just feels really comfortable.
Yeah, that's true. We've had sponsors before. We've never really talked about them ever, did we? Because really just felt like kind of so-so bikes, but the Cannondale just feels right. So really excited to have that around. The only downside to it, I'd say, is that when I went pedaling with Ryder, instead of him paying attention to the course, he was having fun jumping stuff and hucking stuff, and you're supposed to be paying attention to what's going on here, not enjoying riding your bicycle. But anyway, that's about the e-bikes. So that's pretty much coming to the end here. We'll let you watch some more pros. I appreciate you watching. Again, if you could like and subscribe, that would be great. And we'll put a link at the end of the video so you can check out the youth starts and a little bit more youth action like that video we showed you before. Thanks again for watching. Hope to see you at the next one.
And yeah, I'll see you guys too. See you guys in the next video. Thank you for watching, and wish me good luck. Bye.
Okay, you're still here? Good for you. So here's a couple other interesting facts. I don't know. Ooh, it got a little wild there. Motocross Action magazine, probably one of my favorite magazines. The main person who writes for that is Josh Mosman, and he actually showed up to this race, 2 races. So I can almost guarantee there's going to be an article in Motocross Action regarding the Big Buck. Also, I was at the Shoei booth talking with this guy from a place called Helmet House. They do boots as well. And this guy walks up, and all of a sudden, like, the seas parted, and he was like, "Oh, hey, how are you? Good to see you, Ron. Oh, you're gonna race? Can I give you a free helmet to wear? Would you?" Like, everyone was just throwing stuff at this guy, and that his name is Ron Lawson, and he writes, I forget if it's for Dirt Bike or Dirt Rider, so he was there, which was interesting. And when you get to those levels, everyone wants you to use your stuff. And another interesting fact is, being that Ben Kelly is out, they brought the West Coast off-road champion Dante Oliver, sorry, out to race, and he did okay. He got 8th in class, and I think maybe like 15th overall. So it just goes to show you how stiff the competition is and how hard this kind of racing is. So, all right, I really think I'm done now. Thanks again for watching.
Thanks, guys. See you guys in the next video. Bye.